Welcome to Modern Church Leader, a short daily show to help you grow your church, be more effective and efficient, and powerful for the kingdom of God.
So how does church database management systems enable better pastoral care? So first of all, most of the time, pastors are very big picture, big vision, top down, don't want to get too much in the weeds. I was a little guilty of that. But I've got to say that as things progress from the basics of church life, the more detail you have on what's going on inside the church, in any kind of different department, on any different subject, the more data you have, the better. You know, outside of the church world for a second, let's just talk about data. It is a massive thing right now. If you're paying any attention to the world of business, you'll know that companies, not just social media, but all companies are collecting all kinds of data. Now, forget about that sometimes there's data breaches and people don't always use the data correctly. Let's put that aside to the second. There's a reason why companies are collecting this data. It's so they know their customer better. And if they know their customer better, they can target that customer with products and services that they might not think they need them, but that data is knowing that they need those products, and so then a business is able to target that customer. You're like, Dean, this is so big brother. I don't want anything to do with this. I get it. But as a church leader, you are called to know your flock. There's an incredible verse here in Proverbs. Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds, for riches do not endure forever, and a crown is not secured for all generations. Why do you want data? Well, the first reason that you want to know what's going on in your church, you want to be informed, and you want to have a really great snapshot of what's actually going on in the church. So it's all about having that information to make great decisions. Because if you don't understand what's going on in your church, it's very difficult. You can have all the goals you want. You can be excited as you like about starting this department and doing this outreach. But if you don't know what's going on in the life of the church, it's very hard to set that roadmap, to set those goals and hit those targets if you don't have real facts. As a pastor, I understood this, but I understand it even more running a business. Running a business and making decisions, I have to rely on real month-by-month, quarter-by-quarter data. And if I neglect that, I'm going to make those wrong decisions. It's exactly the same for you. So I need to know because I need to understand what's going on in the life of my church. The other thing is that the main calling of a church, beyond preaching the gospel and leading people to Christ, is to care, right? The word pastor in the New Testament comes from the very noble and awesome profession of shepherding sheep. And so the whole idea of ministry is to care for the people. And we do that in many different ways. We teach them the word, we create great worship experiences for them, we counsel them and give them advice when they're going through tough times. We provide a safe harbor for Christians to be able to come and worship and grow in their faith. Understanding what's going on in people's lives and using technology to help you do that is extremely powerful. I don't have time to get into the weeds of how that can happen. We will discuss that. But all I can tell you is, as a church leader, you can't be afraid of data. What you want to sometimes do, especially if your church isn't growing, is you want to put your head in the sand and preach another sermon and think everything's okay. Sometimes that works, sometimes that doesn't work. Most of the time, it doesn't work. You're going to know what's going on in the life of your church so you can actually speak into what's needed, and that's going to ultimately bring a level of health and that you can't really get unless you know what's going on in the life of your church. That's why you need a church database management system. My favorite metaphor about data is going to the doctor. So you go to the doctor, the first thing they do, they stick a thermometer in your mouth, they take your blood pressure, they check your pulse, they do the basics. They want to get a quick, in a few minutes, read on your health. Now, that's very top line. that's not going to tell them if you've got some issues going on in your blood or your liver or your kidneys or whatever. But they get the doctor then comes in and they put a stethoscope on your heart. They're checking around. They're making sure the vital signs are okay. Making sure your blood pressure is not off the Richter scale. Data allows church leaders to get those top line vital signs. And so you can get a feel of the health of the church member, the health of the church in general. So think of it, think of the data as giving you that dashboard, that read of the top line health of what's going on in your church.
Thanks for listening. Please review Modern Church Leader on Apple Podcasts and visit our website for more resources at tithe.ly or follow the links in the show notes.